The morning I saw that envelope taped to our front door, I knew it was trouble, but I didn't know it would end with the police at my house, the FBI circling the neighborhood, and the almighty HOA president dragged into federal court. All of that over a birdbath in my front yard. My name is Nolan Granger, and my wife Tessa and I moved into Willow Creek 7 years ago. At first, it was everything we wanted: quiet streets, clean sidewalks, families who waved as they walked their dogs. Then came Barbara Whitmore. Barbara was in her late 50s with a tight blonde perm, a permanent pastel cardigan, and the self-appointed title of Queen of the Neighborhood. She ran the HOA like a petty kingdom, barking about mailbox paint shades, the number of bushes on each lawn, even holiday wreaths. People laughed at first, but when Barbara slipped into that president's chair, the laughter dried up. The notice taped to our door said we owed $3,500 immediately for an unauthorized exterior structure. I stood there blinking at it while Tessa laughed. "It's about the bird bath, isn't it?" she said. She was right. We'd set a small concrete bird bath in the yard, nothing fancy, just something our daughter Avery liked to watch birds splash around in. Apparently, Barbara decided it broke some imaginary clause buried in the HOA handbook only she seemed to own. Tessa crumpled the fine and tossed it in the trash. "I'm not paying for a fake law," she said. And I swear I saw something shift in the shadows of our quiet little cul-de-sac. 2 mornings later, we were sipping coffee when red and blue lights strobed across our window. I opened the door to 2 police officers, and behind them, of course, was Barbara Arms, crossed, lips pursed. "She's the one," she announced, pointing at my wife like she'd just caught a jewel thief. "She refuses to comply with HOA mandates. That's trespassing and property violation." The taller officer gave her a look. "Ma'am, that's civil, not criminal." Barbara's nostrils flared. "But it's a violation of community standards," she barked. I stepped forward. "Are you seriously wasting police time over a bird bath?" Barbara jabbed a finger toward my wife. She ignored a legally issued fine. "That's grounds for escalation. I want her removed from the property." The shorter cop actually laughed. "You want us to evict a homeowner from her own house over a lawn decoration." They refused, of course, and told Barbara to take it to small claims court. But, as she spun on her heels, she hissed at us, "Then I'll see you in court, and I'll make sure you regret disrespecting the HOA." Tessa sipped her coffee like she was bored out of her mind, but I felt my stomach knot. The next morning, a bright orange sticker screamed across our window. "Property in non-compliance, subject to further action." It looked official until you noticed it was just clip art slapped on an office label. Then came the certified letter threatening to place a lien on our home if we didn't pay within the week. Tessa examined it and smirked. "This is forged. Look here, the signature is photocopied the watermarks from software the county doesn't even use." That was the moment I realized Barbara had crossed from petty tyranny into outright fraud. We started to binder every notice, every fake document, every photo. Even audio from our doorbell camera catching Barbara muttering, "They'll learn the hard way." Still, as I watched Tessa slip page after page inside that binder, a wave of doubt hit me. Maybe we should just take down the bird bath. Maybe we should just pay the damn fine. Maybe fighting wasn't worth dragging our daughter through stress cops at our door and neighbors whispering. One night, I told Tessa, "Maybe we should back off. Maybe I'm wrong." She looked at me like I'd grown another head. "If we cave," she said, "she'll do it again and again. Not just to us, everyone. We're not wrong, Nolan. She is." That night, I still wasn't sure, but the next evening our neighbor Daniel knocked. He's a retired Air Force guy, usually quiet. His hands were shaking as he held up his own letter. A fine for unauthorized flag display. He'd flown the American flag for 15 years without a problem. "She's doing it to others now," he said. Then, Lena, a nurse, showed us her notice fined for excessive overnight parking because her shifts ran late. Bit by bit, the pieces clicked. Barbara wasn't just targeting us, she was going after the vulnerable, the easy marks, the people least likely to fight back. That's when my doubt died. We weren't just fighting for us anymore. By the end of the week, 14 households were ready to sign formal complaints. Tessa drafted packets with notarized statements referencing state code and the HOA bylaws Barbara herself had violated. We turned it over to the county oversight office, and then we went one step further. We handed everything to an investigative reporter named Declan Shaw. He barely glanced before saying, "Give me 3 days." Barbara didn't know yet, but her little empire was about to crumble. 3 days later, Declan's story hit the evening news. HOA gone rogue residents expose fraud, forgery, and harassment. They showed clips of Barbara's sticker stunt, the forged lien letter interviews with neighbors who'd been fined for imaginary violations. Barbara tried to call it a misunderstanding, even dragged a podium onto her lawn for a press conference. But the city had already launched a formal investigation. Still, Barbara wasn't done lashing out. During one of her infamous mandatory compliance walkthroughs, she strutted down our street with 2 board members trailing like prisoners of war. She stopped in front of my yard, glared at the bird bath, and spat, "You're still in direct violation." I crossed my arms. "We like it." Tessa stepped out beside me. "And you should be careful about escalating. Forging legal documents. That's a felony." Barbara's mouth opened then closed. One board member quietly stepped back. I swear you could smell the fear. The day of the court hearing, the room was packed. Barbara stormed in wearing a burgundy suit that screamed desperation. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. The judge read the charges: fraud, forgery, harassment, abuse of HOA authority. Barbara blinked, stunned. "I thought this was about the bird bath," she whispered. The judge didn't even flinch. The bird bath was the match. "This," he said, waving the stack of charges, "is the fire." Our attorney laid out every detail. The binder passed into evidence. Neighbors lined up to testify. Then came the kicker, the recordings. Barbara caught on tape instructing board members to push them hard enough until homeowners caved. "If they complain," she said, "we isolate them." You could hear the air leave the courtroom. Barbara tried to argue, but the bailiff told her to sit down. Finally, the judge leaned forward. "Barbara Whitmore, you are hereby removed from your position pending full investigation. All enforcement actions by the Willow Creek HOA are suspended until further notice." Her face drained of color. Her kingdom was gone in a single gavel strike. And that was it, the collapse. The pastel cardigans, the clipboards, the fake authority, all of it shattered under the weight of her own arrogance. Barbara thought she could turn a neighborhood into her personal fiefdom. She thought she could bully, threaten, and forge her way into power. Instead, she lit a fire she couldn't control. And if there's one lesson I took from all of it, it's this. Sometimes standing your ground isn't just about you. It's about showing the bully their reign is over.